And good morning. So it is noon and it is time for our lunch and learn, and we are going to be talking about cholesterol today because we have had a request for that. Next week we're going to be talking about, I don't have my paper in front of me, I hope I said it's right, myasthenia gravis. Okay, so if that's something that pertains to you and you've requested that, be sure to turn in next week. Now what I have in my hand is an 18-page report on cholesterol from somebody who was doing, I would imagine it was doctorate thesis on cholesterol at MIT. And so MIT is a research facility. And so we know that we can trust what they say. It's a long report. It's been on my webpage for several years. And so if you go to my webpage and you go to the very top where it says links, if you click on that link, then it'll have a little drop-down menu. I think it's the second option there. And the title of it says, How Statins Really Work Explains Why They Don't Really Work. Now, I don't know that I would have named my paper that, but that's what they named it. And so we have that. It's a free resource for you. So I'm going to go fast. I'm not going to read everything because I don't want to sound like Charlie Brown's teacher. Okay, and there's just a lot of information here. There's some graphs, there's some different things in the report that you're going to want to look at. But the down and dirty, we're going to talk about the down and dirty of cholesterol. Cholesterol is a 28 atom molecule. That means it has a lot of stuff in it. I'm going to show you this. I'm going to get it really close. This is the hormone cascade. I think I've got it centered now. This is the hormone cascade for cholesterol. And you see cholesterol is highlighted right at the very top. And then I've highlighted the sex hormones in purple. And then you've got all those other hormones in the middle. Now, if you'll notice, estrogen and testosterone are way at the bottom of the food chain. And so that means your body is going to take that 28 atom molecule and it's going to cleave it up in different ways to make those different hormones. Your sex hormones are at the bottom of the food chain, and so your body is going to do all these other processes first before it gets to sex hormones. So just going to throw that out there because a lot of people think, and your medical people will tell you, last time I talked to a medical person about this was a couple of years ago when I was doing my live radio program, and she and I were guests on the same program, and she said in the medical field they want your cholesterol, your total cholesterol, to be at about 100. Now, we don't want it to be at 100, okay? We want it to be around 200, and the reason for that is we want it to be your brain has cholesterol in it, and we don't want to cut you short on what you need for your brain. There are three components of your cholesterol number. There is triglycerides, there is the good cholesterol, the HDL, and then there is the bad cholesterol, the LDL. Now, honestly, your body is not going to make something bad, okay? Anything that is bad in your body, you have ingested, you have breathed in, you have worn, and it has transmuted through your skin. Your body is a survival mechanism. It will not produce anything bad. If you've got toxicity in the body, it's because your body's not functioning properly, and cholesterol may be part of that. Now, your LDL, the so-called bad part of cholesterol, is driven by inflammation. It is nature's Band-Aid to keep you from having a blowout. As we look at this report, there are little lipid rafts that take nutrients throughout your body, all right? And so we need that. We need to have that. And so when we push our cholesterol too low, then we're not going to have that. So that's a big deal. So if you are concerned about your cholesterol, I just want to talk to you about cholesterol as the LDL, okay? So if your LDL, your quote unquote bad cholesterol is too high, it could be because of your diet. A diet in that is high in refined carbohydrates. What are refined carbohydrates? That's pasta, bread, cakes, pies, cookies, ding-dongs, Twinkies, whatever. Okay, I'm not doing brand names, any kind of those kind of comfort foods that we love. My favorite comfort food is mac and cheese. I'm just going to throw that out there. I love my macaroni and cheese. Do I have it often? No, I do not. Why? Because I know that carbs are not good for me, and I know that things made out of wheat, and pasta is made out of wheat, is a gluten issue, and a gluten issue affects most people because the way we process our gluten here in the United States. So we don't want to do that. I don't do that. Oxidative stress. What is oxidative stress? Oxidative stress means you don't have enough antioxidants in your system in order to attach to the free radicals. Free radicals are what age us. Free radicals are what cause us to have sickness and disease. This is my little trusty dusty scanner here. Okay, we've been talking about this. I love my scanner. And the reason I love my scanner is because it will tell me what my antioxidant level is. And so we want to know what the antioxidant level is, because that is our anti-aging, right? The more antioxidants we have, the more we'll be able to combat that oxidative stress. If we combat that oxidative stress, and we won't have the LDL cholesterol to combat that oxidative stress. Fatty liver or congested liver. Why is that? Because your liver makes cholesterol. So if your liver is not functioning properly, and your liver is the largest filter in your body, at a certain age, and I'm going to say 50, although we have seen people here in the clinic much younger with a congested liver. What causes congestion? It's what you eat, what you wear, what you breathe, how much stress is in your life. The emotions of anger, bitterness, and resentment are in the liver. All right. And so we need to know that those kind of emotions, which we all have from time to time, affect our liver. A diet high in saturated animal fat can give you high cholesterol. Diabetes, chronic fatigue syndrome, hepatic obstruction. That means your liver is not detoxifying properly, okay? Hypothyroidism, birth control pills, and atherosclerosis. Okay, so all of those things can affect your so-called bad cholesterol. I call all of this inflammation. If we deal with the inflammation, that LDL is going to come down, all right? So the HDL, which is your good cholesterol, also made by the liver, and if your good cholesterol is too low, which is what we normally find, we normally don't find that high. I don't think I've ever seen the HDL high in all the years that we've been here. I don't think I've ever seen that, but we do see it low, okay? And what that means your liver's not functioning properly, but it also could mean atherosclerosis, the diet high in refined carbohydrates, high in sugars. Again, pretty much the same as what you're going to find with your LDL. So they all work in concert with each other, and we need to know what that means. Now, triglycerides, in my opinion, all right, triglycerides are how your body metabolizes the food that you eat, especially if you have food that is high in refined carbs and that kind of thing. And when we see this, we see it on the high level. We hardly ever see it on the low level. What that could indicate, and this is a predictor of cardiac issues, if your triglycerides are really, really high, then we've got to get your liver functioning properly so it doesn't put too much stress on your heart. High triglycerides, chronic high triglycerides, have to do with heart stress, or it can lead to heart stress. And so your primary care physician, if your triglycerides remain high over a period of time, he's going to recommend that you go see a cardiologist, because this is a very good predictor of a cardiovascular event. Atherosclerosis, poor fat metabolism and utilization, hypothyroidism, adrenal dysfunction, anterior pituitary hypofunction, gout, pancreatitis. All these things have to do with the liver and that kind of thing. If you're on prescription diuretics, you may find that you've got a triglyceride problem, because just what's in the prescription interacts with the way you're able to do that. Also, estrogen therapy also will cause that to be out of line there. So just want to give you some of that background there. Now, on this paper, this lady who wrote this, and again, this is on my website, so you can look at it yourself. She said, I have been driven by the need to understand how a drug that interferes with the synthesis of cholesterol, which is a nutrient that is essential to human life, could possibly have a positive impact on health. I have finally been rewarded with an explanation for an apparent positive benefit of statins that I can believe, but one that soundly refutes the idea that statins are protective. I will, in fact, make this bold claim that nobody qualifies for statin therapy, and statin drugs can best be described as toxins. Now, you're going to remember that I am not medical. I am a researcher, and we deal in holistic health. We do not deal in disease at all. And so what we want to do is read reports, find out what the body is doing, what the drugs are doing, because we want to look at what we're doing holistically, okay? Because we want to restore your health. When we get your health restored, then you're not going to have a cholesterol issue. I heard a doctor, now he's not a medical doctor, he's a PhD in nutrition, and he said that nobody ever died of high cholesterol, but you will die of low cholesterol. And this is something that this report bears out as well. She says the impact of damage due to the statin anti-cholesterol mythology extends far beyond those who actually consume statin pills. Cholesterol has been demonized by the statin industry, and as a consequence, Americans have become conditioned to avoid all foods containing cholesterol. This is a grave mistake, as it places a much bigger burden on the body to synthesize sufficient cholesterol to support the body's needs. It deprives us of several essential nutrients. I am pained to watch someone crack open an egg, toss out the yolk because it contains, quote, too much cholesterol. Eggs are a very healthy food. In fact, I have heard from medical people that eggs are the perfect protein. And so when we eat our eggs, we eat the whole thing, okay? I particularly don't think that egg white has any taste, and it actually has not very many nutrients at all. All right, the egg yolk contains all of the nutrients. Americans are currently experiencing widespread deficiencies in several crucial nutrients that are abundant in foods that contain cholesterol, such as choline, zinc, niacin, vitamin A, and vitamin D. So cholesterol is an important substance without which all of us would die, okay? So we've demonized a nutrient that is absolutely essential for our survival, right? And everybody, I don't care where you are, what your educational level is, everybody in America would probably say cholesterol is something bad in the body. Okay, cholesterol is not bad in the body. What we want to do is make sure that our bodies are functioning properly so cholesterol stays in the normal level. I will just tell you, when I was younger, okay, in the 1970s, I think is when they changed the reference range for cholesterol. It used to be around 200 to 240 was normal. Now they want it as close to 100 as you can get it. Now, what that means is for our men, not me, I'm not a man, our men, if they remember, testosterone is way down here at the bottom of the food chain, right? And so if we cut the top molecule down with a statin drug, or we don't eat cholesterol-rich foods, then the men are not going to have enough cholesterol left over to produce testosterone, and so they're going to have erection problems. So men, if you are on a statin drug and you are having erectile dysfunction, it could be because your cholesterol is just too low. I have a colleague that says when you're over 60, as long as your cholesterol is 200 plus your age, you're good. So that's way over 100, all right? So I would be very concerned if your cholesterol was over 300. If you're under 300, I'm not that concerned. What I'm going to do is look at your inflammatory factors, and we're going to deal with that, and we're going to get that cholesterol to come down, all right? We are different from the rest of the created life-giving, forms, right? Plants, vegetables, fruits, all that. we have cholesterol. Cholesterol gives us the mobility so we are able to move, okay? Plants do not have cholesterol, and that is the key difference between animals, so people are included in animals scientifically, and plants. So when we start to lose our cholesterol, all right, we start losing the fluidity of movement. So we need to know that. All right. Cholesterol is an important transport mechanism for vitamin D, your sex hormones, estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, and steroid hormones such as cortisol. Cholesterol is essential to our cell membranes. It protects the cell from ion leaks and also oxidative damage to your membrane fats. Now, again, what is oxidative damage? Those are your free radicals. What stops free radical damage? Antioxidants. Where do we get our antioxidants? From our fruits and vegetables. How do we measure that? With our scanner. Okay, that's how we do that. Cholesterol is vital to the brain for nerve signal transport at the synapses and through the long axons that communicate from one side of the brain to the other. Cholesterol sulfate plays an important role in the metabolism of fats via the bile acids, as well as in immune defense against invasion by pathogenic organisms. What are pathogenic organisms? Well, those are viruses, germs, bacteria, parasites. Okay, so all of those things come in, and if our cholesterol is too low, then we're not going to have what we need to protect ourselves from that. So statin drugs inhibit the action of enzymes. It's called HMG coenzyme A reductase. That doesn't mean anything to me, but that's what it is. This catalyzes an early step in the 25-step process that produces cholesterol. This step is also an early step in the synthesis of a number of other biological substances that are involved in cellular regulation processes and in antioxidant effects. So let's break this down. What is cellular regulation processes? Well, when we don't have cellular regulation processes, we have cancer. Cancer is a cell that is not regulated. All right. So in broad terms, it's much more specific than that, but in broad terms, cholesterol helps with your cell regulation. Okay. One of these things, nutrients that statin drugs remove or hamper is CoQ10. It is the greatest, it has its greatest concentration in the heart, and it plays an important role in mitochondrial energy production and acts as a potent antioxidant. Now, what is mitochondria? I'm so glad you asked. Mitochondria is the energy in the cell. It's what makes your cell do what your cell needs to do. If your cells don't do that, guess what? You die. All right? In our products, a lot of our products that we have here in the clinic, we have ATP in there. And I've got that written down. When I get to it in my notes, I'll tell you exactly what that means. If I try and tell you from memory, I'm not gonna remember. Or I'm not going to say it right. So the statins interfere with cell signaling mechanisms. Okay. So we don't want that. So LDL, the quote unquote bad, HDL, the quote unquote good, and fructose. Now I need to do a little disclaimer here, or a little clarification rather. Fructose is what is normally found in fruits and vegetables. Synthetic fructose, which is what you see in high fructose corn syrup, is a different animal altogether, okay? So do not be concerned. Some of the products that we have here have fructose in it. Yes, because it has antioxidants in it. Antioxidants come from your fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables have naturally occurring fructose in it. What we are not going to find here in the clinic is anything that has high fructose corn syrup in there, okay? So the article goes on to say, we have been trained by our physicians to worry about elevated serum levels of low density proteins, LDL, with respect to heart disease. LDL is not a type of cholesterol, but rather can be viewed as a container that transports fats, cholesterol, and vitamin D and fat-soluble antioxidants to all the tissues of the body. Because they are not water-soluble, these nutrients must be packaged up and transported inside the LDL into the bloodstream. If you interfere with the production of LDL, which is what your statin drugs will do, you reduce the bioavailability of the nutrients to your body. All right, so we don't want to do that. When you have a lot of fructose, so you have too much fruits, well, you're not going to have too much fruits and vegetables. What you're going to do is you're going to get too much of the wheat products, the bread products, the pasta products, the sweets that have the refined carbohydrates, because they turn to sugar in your body, okay? So diabetes results in an increased concentration of sugar in the blood, which further compromises LDL particles by gumming up the ApoB. Now, ApoB is a special protein that enables the LDL to do what it needs to do. When we've got too many refined carbohydrates, we've got too much sugar in the bloodstream, that's going to gum up the works there. Oxidized and glycated LDL particles become less efficient at delivering the contents to the cells. They stick around longer in the bloodstream, and the measured serum LDL goes up. So this is diet related. We are eating the wrong things, which is causing the LDL not to be processed properly and not to do its job. This is how we get to be diabetic, okay? So we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that at all. Worse than that, all right, worse than that, once the LDL particles have finally delivered their contents, they become small, dense LDL particles, remnants that would normally be returned to the liver to be broken down and recycled, but instead, the attached sugars stop that, all right? And so you have to have your immune system come up with the macrophages and the phagocytes. And yes, I'm not swearing. Those are actual critters in your white blood cells. Not really critters. That's not a good way to put it. They're a differentiated type of white blood cell. And what they have to do is they have to come in and gobble up all of those small, dense particles. So what does that mean? That means your immune system thinks that there's a problem. And so it's sending all these scavengers to the site of where these particles are in your body. And what that means is your body is on high alert. Your immune system is on high alert. Your inflammation is high, all right, which is why we have too much LDL. So we want to make sure that we don't do that. Now, again, there's just tons and tons of information here, and I do not want to sound like Charlie Brown's teacher, so you're going to have to bear with me. Since the liver synthesizes much of the cholesterol supplied to the cells, statin therapy greatly impacts the liver, resulting in a sharp reduction of the amount of cholesterol it can synthesize. A direct consequence is that the liver is severely impaired in its ability to convert fructose to fat because it has no way to package up the fat for transport without cholesterol. Fructose builds up in the bloodstream, causing lots of damage to the serum proteins, all right? Skeletal muscles are affected by statin therapy, okay? So these are some of the bad things that happen. Muscle pain and weakness is widely acknowledged by the statin industry as a potential side effect of statin drugs, all right? These people that did this research paper put together a chart of different symptoms that the body has. And we see that if you take a statin, you are significantly more prone to get these things: muscle cramps, general weakness, muscle weakness, difficulty walking, loss of muscle mass, numbness, and muscle spasms. So this chart is on that paper, and so you can look at that. There's also kidney disease that happens with statin drugs. Your muscles lose strength and become prone to sudden uncoordinated movements, overstretching the joints, and causing arthritis. So if you have arthritis, you possibly have some LDL issues, or you might be on a cholesterol drug. I don't know. This is something that we're just giving you information here. Long-term statin therapy leads to damage everywhere, okay? Think of Lou Gehrig's disease. Think of Alzheimer's, all right? Think of, let me see where I'm in my paper, liver damage, diabetes, ALS, heart failure, kidney failure, memory problems, Parkinson's disease, neuropathy, and dementia, okay? A higher presence of these diseases are with people who are on statin drugs. So if you want more information, there's a ton. I think I got to page 7 out of 18. I think there's 3 pages of references in this research paper that you're going to want to look at if you are concerned about your cholesterol. Me, I'm not concerned about cholesterol because I understand most of the time it is an inflammatory process. We change the diet, we do what we need to do, and your body just does what it needs to do to fix that. All right. I am not a fan of any kind of medications. I'm not medical, so don't take my advice. I'm just saying personally, I'm going to do what I can do with diet, herbs, nutraceuticals, and that kind of thing in order to protect myself, protect my family, because I want to live long, live strong, okay? I make sure, and I have my purple bracelet. Why do I have my purple bracelet? Because my purple bracelet, by the scanner, shows that I am optimum in my antioxidant level, right? We've got guaranteed supplements, vitamins, minerals, all kinds of things that are guaranteed to push your score toward optimum or your money back. So if you're interested in that, let me know because we've got all that good stuff here. If you're in the local area and you want to come by and do the scanner and see what it says about you, great. If you're taking a lot of supplements and you want to see if they're working for you, great. Come and let us measure your health markers. And what that means is a $20 charge. I mean, it's not very expensive at all. You come in, it takes 5 minutes, people. It takes longer to put your name and your address on the device than it does to actually do the scan, the measurement. It's about a 30-second process. And it's just real easy. So if you want to know, do you need nutrition? If you want to know if your supplements are working for you, if you want to know how your digestion is, if you want to know what your immune system is saying, it is all right here on the scanner. So come by and see me. It's the weekend. Take care of yourself. I am headed to the Lufkin area right now because we've got an event up there where we're going to, play with these people and find out what their health markers look like. And it's going to just be a whole lot of fun. We're going to make some new friends. So if you're in the Lufkin area and you want to come see me this afternoon, then go to our Facebook page, look at what we've got, DM Hillary, and she will give you all the particulars as far as timing, address, and that kind of thing. It's the weekend. Take care of yourself. Know that we love you. We're going to see you next week. And next week, we're going to be talking about autoimmune disease, myasthenia gravis. Okay? Take care.